Hello everyone, this is Plankera, and welcome to my universe. Today, I'm going to continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere. So I've been making steady progress with the hair, and I was checking the diagonal very extensively this morning. And I think I have some stuff that I want to fix. So one thing that I'm finding myself worried about is that... So when we have the head like this, just facing forward, we see certain parts of the hair, and then as her head moves down, certain parts should become more prominent. And we should see like more of the top of this bang and some stuff like that. And I just don't think that's quite showing itself correctly when I move down into the corner. So I feel like we should be seeing more of the top part of this bang. That's the big area that I don't think is quite working out here. So I'm going to go in and do a bunch of big changes, basically. Always a bit unfortunate to do such things after I spent a bunch of time trying to get it all to look right, but I think it's for the best. So I'm going to take these 3 layers and just like... I don't know, should I do them all at once? I probably think I kind of have to an extent. I'll grab that type of brush. I'm just going to start dragging some things upward. I'm not going to compare it at all to the bottom head turn for the time being, because I think that the bottom head turn has many of the same issues. And working in the corner here in the lower left just made them easier for me to see. So I'm just going to focus on getting these areas basically in the right place, and then I'll worry about smoothing everything out. So things are probably going to look a little janky for a little while, but it's okay, I'll fix it. Eventually, I will fix it. So fortunately, I think that big movement I did at the beginning was enough to fix many of the problems. So now I'm just kinda going through and fixing up some of the smaller shapes, and also shift-clicking to try to change the brush size. Shift-click is how I do it in Krita, so... Here I am, just trying to adjust the brush size like that, and Inochi Creator. It don't work so good. Getting my keyboard shortcuts crossed. So it might take a few tries to get all this just right, because, man, right now it's still pretty squirmy. But I'm going to be paying attention solely to the diagonal for the time being. I will pay attention to the other directions once I have the diagonal looking good. The main reason I'm using the diagonal this time is because this is the default. This is how she looks when I have not changed anything. So I know that if I can get it to line up well with that I'm probably onto something pretty good. Alright, I think this is already doing so much better. I didn't actually expect to be getting into the smaller details this quickly, so that's nice. I thought it would take a lot more effort to just go and, I don't know how to describe, just actually get it so it's not squirming so hard across the diagonal. But no, things are pretty okay. As usual, my brain worries too much. Just looks at it and thinks it's going to be a massive pain, and it makes me just want to procrastinate. Today, I said, nah, we're going to do it. And it wasn't so bad at all. Okay, so since I have taken the plunge and decided that I am indeed going to be poking around with making things look good on the diagonal, I guess I should be looking everywhere. I'm trying to get every little thing looking good at the diagonal. Go ahead and embrace the perfectionism. Not just the front bang, but everything. Everything I see. So I guess I'll just be poking at that for today. Hopefully I can get everything looking nice and can get back to where I left off yesterday. But it's okay. I think corrections like this will make the final thing look much better. I mean, look how much less squirming there is here. Already looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy. And then I'll just realign everything with the bottom head turn and all that good stuff. So hopefully I'll be able to get back into the rest of the hair soon. Okay, yeah, this is already looking a lot better. Okay, I'm quite happy. Quite happy. This is where I can use all the extra information that the diagonal gives. So after all, when I'm working on just, you know, left, right, up and down, the cardinal directions, the only clue I have to where they should go is this center default point here. But the corners connect to 3 different areas, so I get lots and lots of clues as to where everything should go. Daunting, but pretty nice. So yesterday I went ahead and posted a screenshot of a outfit I put together from the very basic stuff that you get like on day 1 in Infinity Nikki. Went ahead and posted that in the community tab. So far I've gotten a couple of people saying that they want me to post more, so I probably will. I'll try not to spam you guys too hard, but I do like putting stuff together in that game. It is pretty fun. So I'll be happy to share what I managed to put together and all that. I have been having a pretty good time in the game so far. I just cleared what I am dubbing the first dungeon of, what is it, the Well of Fortune. With the big fish. So that was pretty fun. Pretty fun to go through. Very, very straightforward. Definitely meant to be a, very low stress game, I can tell. But it's okay. I think I could use a bit of low-stress stuff in my life. I wouldn't call myself a cozy gamer, but I do like the occasional cozy game. Sometimes it can be nice to have a little break. Like I said before, I'm being very particular about the placement of, like, everything at this point. It's like if I'm going all in on caring about what's going on with the diagonal, then so be it. I will go all in. Get all the little details right, and then I'll worry about making it all look nice. Just one thing at a time here. And hopefully with the information that I get from all this, I will be able to fix up the left and bottom turns a little bit. If I remember correctly, when I was doing the upper right turn, I ended up having to fix quite a lot about, especially the upward one. The left wasn't so bad, but especially the upward one. And then the upper right went a lot faster because I fixed the upward turn a lot. So I'm hoping that the bottom turns will be similar, where the lower left takes longer because I have to fix up some things on the lower head turn, and then the lower right will just come a little bit more easily. Better dance around. So I'm just looking very carefully at the things that are maybe not moving great. Some spots look like they're moving really well. So I'm also paying close attention to what makes those better. Like, I actually really do like the tips of her bangs here. I think I did a pretty good job there. But then there's some other spots around her front bang that's not moving quite as well relative to those. And so I'm just trying to look carefully at those parts. And push everything over to where they will hopefully look better. I did floof out the side of this bang pretty hard at the beginning of this rigging session, so I'm not surprised that I have to pull it back just a little bit here. I'm just gonna let things be a little bit messy for a little while. Much like drawing, sketch first, then details. So I'm just trying to get the structure of all of this going. Figure out where all of those deeper shadows and highlights should go. Because once I have those, I can build everything else around it pretty easily. It's alright, it looks like today is going to be a day that I spend most of my time zoomed out. And most of my time, making her head move around in funny directions. I'm also taking a look at areas that I haven't really touched up extensively yet. Because it's like, if they're looking wrong, then they're probably a bit wrong too. So I just want to try to get most things to not be squirming right now. That's kind of the goal here. Stop the squirming. Whatever it takes. No more squirming vertices. Ankara demands all vertices be comfortable with where they are and stop wiggling so much. They are a wiggly bunch. Tomorrow is going to be speed painting day, that's right. Forgot that it's almost Saturday again. It's like, man, I feel like this week has kind of flown by. I blame video games. I haven't spent much time playing video games on my own, so the time has been flying by while I just derp around. But yes, tomorrow I will be drawing my first character request for my speed paints. I was very happy to get that, so if you guys do have character requests, Path to Nowhere or otherwise, as long as the source material is safe for work and won't get me in trouble with YouTube, I will go for it. I have many ideas, and even if I can't get to them during the weekly speed paints, it's like, you know, I can always draw them whenever I want. Saturday is just the day that I set aside for these. So don't worry about it. I won't take any requests that I don't feel like drawing, and so you're not imposing on me. And setting those requests means that I don't have to think quite as hard. So it makes life a little bit easier on me sometimes. Yeah, I've been looking forward to that. I know nothing about the character, so I'm not quite sure what to do for atmosphere and whatnot, so I hope what I end up drawing works well, because I've had ideas. I have ideas for so many things. Oh, sneeze, hold on. Alright, all better. Oh yes, I have many things that I want to try. Oh, it's just hard to find time for all the things I want to do. But I am looking forward to trying some stylistic things that I think will be very interesting. I've been at a little bit of a crossroads in my art for a while, where I was having to decide, do I want to go for more detailed illustrations, or do I want to go for more simple and highly stylized illustrations? And I think the fact that I am considering getting into comics made the decision for me. We gotta go simple. Gotta be things that I can draw very quickly if I want to be able to do comics. So we're going for stylishness and speed. So when I break down what I'm doing with pretty much any type of art, not just rigging, but this also is true with drawing, when I'm starting to put down details and whatnot, I tend to break things down into like 3 different types of shapes. So there's the big ones, the really big ones. Those would be like the shape of her hair in general. Her entire face, for example. That would be one really big shape. Her entire hair would be another really big one. And then they start getting smaller. So you can kind of see that there's part that goes down the center and the part of her hair, you know, where her roots form, down to this side. And there's another one down to this side. And those kind of imply certain directions. And so that tends to be the next phase. That shows where some of the biggest shadows should go. And then each smaller piece starts getting divided further. So now we have smaller shadows and smaller highlights, like through here, up through here. And the ones that kind of come down here to separate all the various strands. And then they get smaller still. That's where we get things like the highlights and smaller shadows like here, or this strand here, and the tunnel here, and various things like that. And then even smaller still, where we have, yeah, those there. So, I mean, you can pretty much break it down indefinitely, but I tend to go in like 3 or 4 layers of pulling it all down. And so if we have the big shape of just the hair in general, the directionals where it's coming off and forming the big clumps as the first 2, then the third would be whatever is showing smaller chunks here and there. And right now I'm kind of looking at that third layer. I think the overall shape of her hair is fine, and where a lot of the layers are kind of coming off in chunks is mostly fine. Some of those I might fix up here and there, but right now I'm kind of looking at some of those small shapes and trying to get them into place. So that's why you see me moving things around a lot and going in and making very, very tiny changes here and there, just kind of all over the place. I'm just kind of looking at whatever doesn't quite look right and trying to push it into place. And you can see I'm not zooming in at all. I zoom in when I make a change just because some of the vertices are really close together, and I have to do that in order to be able to properly manipulate them, just due to my own clumsiness. But if this was a drawing where I didn't have to worry about how close my vertices are in the mesh, I would not be zooming in at all. I would be staying completely zoomed out. Just worried about getting these things into the right places. And only after I have them all in the right place would I worry about making things look nice. In this case, I'm actually caring a little bit about how the bottom of the strands look too. Again, I don't care, like here you can see it's super crunchy and looks pretty weird, but I am not actually concerning myself. Well, let me back up there. I'm not concerning myself with making them look nice, but I am concerning myself with getting them into the right place. So at this point I have noticed that the side bang was getting a little bit longer, it felt like. So that's why I'm pushing it back up a little bit. Just trying to get everything into their rough places. One sec, got another sneeze. Phew, wanted to clear my nose there, too. It was kind of tickling me. Okay, but now all should be well. I should just be able to go. So I'm just gonna head back into trying to get some of these various shapes in the right place. But that's a brief explanation on how I tend to divide these things. The very big, the medium, and the very small. And then occasionally, the absolutely tiny. But I don't spend too long on the absolutely tiny. So this is all going to be very interesting to clean up, I can tell. It's like, meh. But I guess I'll cross that bridge when I get there. For now, I just want to get everything lining up a little bit better. Honestly, I probably should have done this from the very beginning. I think it would have saved me a lot of trouble, but I thought certain parts would kind of work themselves out as I continued making it look better, but it just wasn't. So that just tells me that I did not line something up with the top or the bottom very well. Like, yeah, you can see that I probably pushed certain parts too down in the bottom turn. Doesn't look too bad from the left, though. Yeah, certain things I'll probably have to fix up here and there. But truly, this is why certain things take me such a long time. It's like I go through and I'm like, okay, I think I'm making this work. And then after a while I realize, no, I'm really not making this work. And I just have to change a bunch of things, and it makes me have to redo a bunch of work, and it would have been nice if I had found this problem sooner, but here we are. I still want to go back and make it look nice though, so I will do that. Things are already looking pretty good, so that bodes well. No. Okay. I was hoping I could adjust this red spot here with the brush, but it does not appear so, so I will just have to drag it out. Fortunately, there aren't too many vertices associated with that, so there we go. I'm looking forward to today. Friday is one of the days that my dad comes over and comes to play with the grandkids. And they get so excited. They get so happy whenever they get to see their grandparents. And I'm glad that they're able to. My grandparents, both on my mom's and my dad's sides, were never really part of my life. So I'm glad that My kids get to have a different experience. Get to have more cool people in their lives. Seems like a pretty good way to be. And it makes my life easier too, because it means that they get to have someone else to play with. My husband and I don't have to do all the work ourselves. I'm seeing the appeal in multi-generational homes. I think the grandparents do to some extent, but I'm not sure if they'd agree if they actually had to live with the tiny ones all the time. Because tiny ones are an adventure. They do things. And they get into so much trouble. But I feel like that's just part of being 5. I feel like it'd be sad if there was a 5-year-old not getting into a lot of trouble. That's how you learn things. You get into a bunch of trouble, you fail a lot, and you come out stronger. It's kind of funny, I really did think that today was going to be a lot of big adjustments. But it looks like a lot of the ones that I'm making are actually pretty tiny. So that's pretty interesting. So it seems like I had most things in the right place, it just needed a little bit of extra help. I was trying too hard to align it with the bottom head turn. And the diagonal does tend to be a little bit more reliable in terms of correct information. Again, want to emphasize the goal here isn't to make it pretty yet. It's just to get the details into place. So some things are gonna look pretty silly for a little while. Until I go in and start touching them all again. But this time I want to get all of the hair roughly into place. I guess I do have most of the little strands hidden, but that's probably for the best. I can worry about them a little bit later. So I'm just going to do some intense staring here. Right now I'm looking at the side bang here and debating on whether or not these highlight areas are a little bit too high or too low or whatever else. I do think that they might be a little bit too high. Or no, not too high, too low. Mental dyslexia. It's fine, it happens a lot. Don't worry about it. For whatever reason, sometimes what comes out of my mouth is literally the exact opposite of what I'm actually thinking. And it happens a lot more than I'd like to admit. It's very silly, but it keeps happening, and I don't know why. Brains are weird. That's just what it comes down to, isn't it? Just brains are a very strange little organ. Doing its best to put random thoughts in our head. And control the functionality of a bunch of other organs, I guess. I guess it does that too. Okay, no, I brought that way too high. Let's bring that back down. So right now I'm just kind of moving both of these together because I know that they both control various parts of this transition color. So I'm looking at where it transitions from purple to white and trying to get that color change in the right place. And lower down, it's kind of controlled by 2 layers. So I'm making sure to grab them both so I can just push them around together. It's like, man, when I say pushing around vertices, it makes me sound like a bully. I promise I'm not trying to bully the vertices. I'm just trying to get them to where they belong. And now I'm high enough on that transition point that I don't need to select the other layer anymore. I just have 1 layer to move around. Makes it a little bit easier to deal with. Alright, but it's looking much better. Still don't think I have it quite right, though. Parts of it are too high, parts of it are too low. There's just shenanigans all around. It's alright. Part of it is just probably from trying to move things around with the brush. That does tend to cause some shenanigans. Looks like tomorrow might end up being another big picture day too, since I'm taking my time here. And I actually do think it's helping, of just getting all the details in place before I go in and clean them up. Because until now I've been doing things kind of piecewise. I get one place looking right, and then I work on everything else around it. And a lot of the times when I work like that, it kind of means that I have to go back and fix some things up afterward. But I think if I do it like this instead, I'll have everything in place first, and then I can worry about making it look nice. I can live with, like, wrinkly lines, weird strands, and stuff like that. I think it might have been worth getting this fairly clean, but who knows? My rigging process is very much not set in stone yet. I have yet to figure out these things. It's okay, I've learned quite a lot just from doing this model, so in the future, maybe I'll be able to go a little bit faster. Hey, if anyone happens to be listening at this point, if you'd like to see me turn another Path to Nowhere character into a VTuber model, let me know. If you've been enjoying this series for as long and slow as I fear it's been, let me know. And I'll consider doing more of these in the future. Once I finish this one, I think I'm going to want to take a little break to do some animated illustrations instead. But I think I will want to do something like this again someday. It's been a pretty good time. I've enjoyed myself greatly going through all this. I gotta admit, though, having to leave things all wrinkly, oh, it's upsetting my brain a little. It's looking at it like, but it doesn't look good. I'm just having to tell it to chill out and believe. Trust the process. It's okay, brain, you should know that you're not gonna want to leave it like that. You're gonna see it and you're gonna want to fix it. You're gonna be sending me all these signals that's like, go fix. Go fix. Go fix. And I'm pretty good at listening to them. So I just have to convince my brain not to worry so much. It'll all be okay. We'll get to them eventually. After all, that's why I'm doing all this in the first place. I could have easily ignored the problems that I was seeing. Just left them there. Continued on my way and settled with good enough, but the fact that I'm here shows that I didn't want to do that. And I think that soothes the brain a little bit. That's why I say don't worry about it. We'll get there eventually, brain, I promise. I really do. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to do a few corrections to the left and right, or left and bottom, when I go through this. Hopefully I don't have to do too many corrections to the left, because I know that every correction I do up here, I have to make sure it still looks good up here, too. And that's definitely a little bit scary. So I'll be trying to make as few changes to the left turn as possible. Just gotta keep going. Gotta make it all look nice. It's the rules. Let's see here. How should this... that's fine. I'll clean it up later. See, my brain was there wanting to clean it up now, and I had to say no. Not allowed. We're getting everything into place right now. We clean later. Much later. The cleaning is a problem for future me. I do think it's funny that the back hair actually all looks pretty okay. I haven't noticed a lot of squirming in that area. So that's pretty cool. Just the area is kind of way far back here. I haven't looked that hard yet. Most of my intense staring has been focused around her face. But the fact that nothing has jumped out at me out of the corner of my eyes and made me want to go, yes, we must fix that now. That bodes well. I decided to take a quick look out there, now that I was consciously thinking of it. And I don't know if this is a problem, but I wanted to try making that part a little bit fluffier. I thought it might look nice. Yeah, I think so. That's why things all... oh, just a little bit fluffier. Fluffy hair is nice. Yeah, a lot of the things that I'm fixing up here are just smaller things that will make it look better than it currently does. As opposed to, like, giant problems like what made me want to do all this in the first place. Like, the hair just not moving right at all along the diagonal. Whereas here it's not really squirming, but nonetheless, I think I can make it look nicer. So who knows? All of this is coming together a little bit faster than I thought it would at the pace I was going earlier. But I should know better that... yeah, every time that I work on the hair here, the front always takes way longer than the sides. So, I guess it makes sense that going in and doing the parts further back would take a lot less time. And I guess I should take a look at the hair over her shoulder too. I have not been looking at it at all. Yeah, frankly, I think it's fine. I might need to do some minor corrections once I zoom in and really start looking at stuff, but big picture-wise, this is all pretty okay. Oh yeah, just making her hair look nice and fluffier through there. I think that'll look really nice once I get around to cleaning it all up. Kind of excited to work on it now. But it's okay. That will be a job for future me. Gotta start with all this complex stuff in the middle first. Do all the side hair. Make sure all the roots are looking nice. Want to do all that before I start worrying about all the floofy stuff out the side here. Okay. Back to over here. Now that I've kind of done everything I wanted to do on that side, let's do some stuff on this side. Doing some gentle movements through there because I think I can afford to make that a little bit floofier. Nope. That was a little bit too much floof. Yes, I could afford to make it a little bit floofier, but not that much floofier. It's still gonna be lower down than this default view here. But yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, yeah, I really was worried that I might need a second session just to fix up all of this. I mean, I'm gonna have to have that second session to clean it up. But I think I will have everything in place by the end of today. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if I had everything in place before the end of today. Because now we just have back hair, and that all tends to go pretty fast. It all goes quite well for me. Especially since I don't have to be messing with the strand from hell. I don't have to be making it look good at the very least. I also want to make sure that I have this curve in a good spot. Just make sure all of the things are in good spots. Alright, let's start moving some stuff back here into slightly better spots here. I do feel we should be seeing some of these little shadows come through here. I had most of those hidden on the top, but I think for the bottom we should see more of them. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. I'm quite happy with that. I'm actually surprised that I'm going to be hiding so much of this strand. I thought much more of it would be showing. but this is what makes sense based on what I see on this diagonal. It needs to be lower than the default view, so that's where that goes. Kind of the same here, where it needs to be a little bit lower than where that strand is in the default view. So I'll push it down a little bit, since her head is moving downward. Yeah, there we go. I think that's looking pretty good back there now. Just need to flatten out the side a little bit. Her head is also moving to the left, so I want everything to be just a little bit further to the left as well. Nothing should be staying still. Everything should be moving around just a little bit here. Alright, and yeah, I think that's looking much better. I am happy. I did fear that that would take much longer than it actually did. But all is well here. And tomorrow I'll be able to get into just cleaning it all up and making sure that everything actually looks nice. As opposed to the wrinkly mess I'm going to be leaving it in today. But since I can trust that a lot of it is in, or at the very least closer to being in the right place, maybe it'll go a little bit faster. We'll see. We'll see how that all shakes out. I'm not quite sure what to expect. But this does tell me that focusing more on the quote-unquote sketch at the beginning will probably save me some time in the long run. So I should definitely consider doing that. Just get the big patches of light and dark in the right places, and go from there. I mean, it makes sense when I think about how I approach drawing a picture versus rigging one. But yeah, it makes sense that I'd want to do it like that. Should hopefully stop me from having to redo a bunch of work like I had to here today. So clean that up somewhat and transfer it over to the bottom head turn. Some of those, probably want to move that over first. Just look at all that squirming. But I think I can trust that this diagonal is more correct than the current bottom turn. Even though, man, I really do think it looks pretty good here. But hopefully, taking the information that I have gained from this corner will make it look even better. So I'll just take another look through everything, and once I'm satisfied, I will end for today. But yeah, so far so good. I'm pretty happy with how it's all looking. I think it looks much better than it did at the start of today. At the very least, I think the movement is better, and that's what's important here. I do have quite a big mess to clean up, because there's lots of crunchy bits and lots of things that just need some help being pushed into the right spots. But in terms of the movement, this looks way better than it did this morning. It's honestly kind of unbelievable how much better it looks. I wish I could show a before and after, but I guess if you're that curious, you can always go to the very beginning of the VOD here. Take a look at how different it looked at the very beginning. The front bang especially was pretty bad, which is why I went down this little rabbit hole in the first place. I just really was not happy with how the diagonal made the front bang look, and the front bang is just one of the most important bits of hair. But yeah, I think that's where I will leave it for today. We'll see if my ever picky future self has anything to say about all of this, but for now, I think this is a good place to stop. So thank you all for coming. If you'd like me to take a look at your own creative projects, whether that be art, writing, coding, game design, or any creative pursuit you can think of, feel free to message or at me on the social media platform of your choice. I'll take a look, maybe leave some comments. I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.